Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your reading for the week of December 1st. This week, you start with this Tears of Remorse card. It says, make peace with your regrets and allow the past to guide your future actions. You have this Fleeting Flare Path card. It says, something in your life will be brief, not meant to stay in your life forever. So we have, I'm recording this on November 24th. And this week on the 27th, Saturn goes direct. And, in Pisces, like a fellow water sign. And so I definitely feel that Saturn, can have to do with like karmic situations, things like that. And, once it goes direct, if you're watching this early, before the 27th, or even if you're watching it after, kind of like forgiving the past, letting go of regrets, all that is, of course, a good thing to be doing, with that Saturn energy. And that's, definitely something that you could be feeling this week for sure. The Saturn, it's mostly going to be affecting the mutable signs, but, I do feel Saturn could also be affecting the water signs in general because it's in Pisces, obviously. But, that's forgiveness, practicing forgiveness, all that. Good. In your first row for your current general energies, you have the Seven of Pentacles, the Three of Wands, and the Five of Wands. I feel like it's time to expand. It's like time to do something, basically. It's time to do something with your life. I feel like a parent that's kicking their kid out of the home here, Cancer. But Seven of Pentacles, he's looking at those pentacles and he's saying, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth it for me to keep doing what I've been doing? Or in the Three of Wands is, looking off into the horizon and saying there are like opportunities out there in the world. He has those three boats on the water. And, a lot of people read this card as your ships coming in, which it can absolutely represent. But those ships are pointing out of the harbor. And some people say he is the harbor master. He is the person who's like directing the ships. But, there's also an opportunity there for him to get on one of those boats and to go somewhere he's never been before. And I kind of feel we are in a little bit of a time of adventure. What I just said to Pisces is we have this magic triangle, which I've definitely brought up for you before, between Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune in the astrology. A magic triangle is a trine with two sextiles. It's one of these triangles. I don't know what you call it. I failed math. I dropped out of geometry, so I don't know. But whatever you call it. And this magic triangle is amazing for discovery and kind of like being open to adventure and discovery. So anything new, any new opportunities that come your way, anything that could move your life in a new direction, just kind of like nurturing those things, researching. You don't even have to do anything. That's like that's what I keep telling people is you don't even have to do it very much at all. If you get an opportunity, you can literally just research it, and that's enough. That is, a good enough adventure. You don't have to go anywhere, right? And so I pretty much encourage everyone to do this because, again, this is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity until 2028 is when this magic triangle will kind of break up in the astrology. So, I don't know. I would take advantage of it if I were you, Cancer. You have the Five of Wands. Yeah, more risk. I do feel we are going to see a Cancer that takes more risks, especially in 2026, of course. But, I think you could start right now. Five of Wands is conflict and competition, and it can represent a need to kind of like face the competition. It can represent a need to learn from the competition as well. But that's not really what I feel for Cancer. Like I said, I feel for Cancer that you are leaving the bucket. Basically, they say that Cancer is like crabs in a bucket. If you put crabs in a bucket, if one tries to escape, all the other crabs, pull that crab back into the bucket. And, I think the next many years for you, Cancer, is about you kind of going your own way. And I think I've said that to you before. It's like you're becoming your own person. You're not like all the other crabs, Cancer. If no one has ever told you that, there you go. There's your compliment for the day. But you're not like other crabs. You're different. And I feel the Five of Wands is encouraging you to like break away from, things that have been the same for too long, right? And that's that. I thought I was going to say something else, but I guess not. So we're going to move on. We're going to clarify. Let's see. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Wands. Yes, I have a feeling that Seven of Wands is going to come up a lot at the end of the year here because of Saturn, probably. Saturn is going to slowly make its way back into Aries by the end of February. And, there's just something about Saturn and Aries that I feel has to do with being 110% sure of yourself. it's like a little bit of a mind effort, but I feel the more we can brainwash ourselves into saying that something is definitely going to work, the better. But also the not, because we still have Neptune and Pisces. Luckily, Neptune will move into Aries in January, but Neptune in Pisces can be a little bit delusional, and so that's why I always say that what we should be doing right now is we need to be confident in ourselves. This will definitely be very important next year, especially for you. We need to be confident in the way things work, but we also need to, take those steps, right? I think the easiest way to not be delusional is to have a step that you take every single day towards the goal. Because when you take that step, you can see progress. And as long as you're tracking, as long as you're paying attention to progress, then you won't get caught up in the Neptune delusion that is a little bit of a danger at the same time. It's only a problem if all you do is dream during Neptune and Pisces, because then you're just like mentally living something. You're not actually doing anything about it. And then if you the other problem is kind of doing something, where you just dabble in something, you don't really actually put the work in. The problem with that is it can feel like you're making progress during Neptune and Pisces, but you're not. You're just wasting time, right? So it's like those small, tiny little steps. That's what I would commit to with the Seven of Wands. With the Three of Wands, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Again, pretty good. I feel all water signs will feel very good, especially this week, the 1st, because of Saturn direct. Saturn direct is progress. You can feel like you're making progress, especially you being a water sign, feeling it maybe just a little bit more than everybody else, except for the mutable signs and Pisces. But, still, I think there's a lot of progress this week. With the Five of Wands, you have the High Priestess. Yeah, trusting your intuition is going to be a superpower for you, I feel, over, probably, again, the next many years, not just right now. But this is something that you should really be thinking about. If I were Cancer, I would be thinking about expanding my potential with the Three of Wands, Five of Wands, and the High Priestess. Again, escaping crabs in a bucket. If you're a crab in a bucket, you're limited. Your potential is the bucket. If you get out of the bucket, it might be the entire ocean, right? And so I feel that the High Priestess, she is the card of unlimited potential. Yeah, sure, she represents mysteries and all these other things, but, the trick with the High Priestess is she has no roof over her head. So the only limitation is what her mind tells her she can accomplish. And so it's time for you to, be the Finding Nemo of crabs and to get out into the ocean. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have a new romantic cycle begins, and you have this card that says the end of a tough cycle approaches, which is good. Again, I think Saturn probably going direct. Even though it goes direct the week of the 24th on the 27th, I feel like you're really going to feel it the week of the 1st is where, the energy kind of gets moving. And so, again, definitely ending a tough cycle, could be setting yourself free. Also, could be a romantic cycle. We don't see very many love cards yet, but that could change in a minute. You have the Eight of Swords, the Knight of Swords, and the Three of Pentacles. Again, the bucket right here. Eight of Swords is only thinking there's one way to do things when there are many. And so we just have to open to all solutions and situations to set ourselves free. She also has this blindfold on. And blindfolds in the tarot represent needing to trust your intuition. And so with the High Priestess, I think your intuition could be telling you things that seem a little bit crazy. I feel like this is a trick right now, is because of Uranus and Gemini. Uranus is retrograding in Taurus. I don't care. It's already entered into Gemini. The trick with Uranus and Gemini is crazy ideas. It's like you might come up with some wacky, random way of running a business or having a relationship or doing something else. People aren't going to understand it, but who cares, right? If it works, it works. And so we have to kind of embrace those random inspirational ideas that pop into our heads because they are a solution, and we have to follow through on those solutions. You have the Knight of Swords. I'm pretty sure this came up in your December reading, if I'm not mistaken, Cancer. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was you. I was saying, don't run away from something. Sometimes I feel with the Knight of Swords that he is running up to a card, and in this case, it's the Queen of Wands, and he's running away. He's running back to the past. The Queen of Wands can represent needing to be bold, assertive, confident. She also needs to march to the beat of her own drum. She has this black cat right here. during the times of tarot, black cats were considered very unlucky, and the whole point is that she doesn't care. She just likes the cat. That's it. So she is going to keep the cat, right? And crabs in a bucket, right? Your job is to not worry about what anyone is saying about what you're doing and to just keep going, right? You have the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles says teamwork makes a dream work, of course, but it's also about just showing what your work, right? He is putting his work on display for these two people. So it's like, yeah, people might be questioning everything that you're doing right now, Cancer. Definitely a possibility. But, results are results, and just allow your results to speak for themselves is what the Three of Pentacles is saying to me, to you, in this reading. And once you do that, that's it. You'll be finding success, or you'll be attracting whatever it is you're trying to attract. So I would just keep doing the work. With the the Eight of Swords, you have the Page of Pentacles. You get the Page of Pentacles with me a lot. You've been getting a lot of these messages about receiving messages, right? So that can mean two things. It could say you need to listen to your messages. Maybe you're not. Or maybe you just don't think they're messages, right? It's like, I can't tell you how many readings over the years I've done where people have come to me and they're like, I see 11:11 on the clock every time I think about this idea. Should I do it? I'm like, the universe is literally like begging you to do it at this point. It's like the universe is sitting there up, wherever the universe exists around us or whatever, tapping its foot, being like, is Cancer going to like actually listen to these messages and take action or what? And so I don't know. Only you can answer that question, Cancer. But I kind of feel like the universe is like saying, how many more times do I have to send you a message being like, yes, go in this direction? The Page of Pentacles is also amazing for learning, and with Saturn direct, I definitely feel it would be a good time to learn anything new that has to do with freedom with the Eight of Swords. So if you're feeling stuck in something, learning how to set yourself free will probably set you free, whatever it is. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Nine of Wands. Yeah, don't give up on something that you're working on. Again, one common energy of Saturn retrograde is like backsliding, where it's like you maybe before the retrograde you can be working on something. Even during the Saturn retrograde, you can start something. You can be working on a project or your health or something like that. But then during the retrograde, you can backslide a little bit and go backwards. And if that happened for you, I would say since like June, basically, between June and now, if you have, the Nine of Wands can say like, don't give up on whatever that is, or keep trying with the Nine of Wands. So definitely something to pay attention to. With the Three of Pentacles, you have the Three of Cups. Yeah, I always say Three of Cups and Three of Pentacles together is concentrated connections. So again, there might be a couple of crabs in your life that are good, that support your vision, right? But they're not in a bucket. They live in the ocean, right? So I feel like those are the people that you should surround yourself with, the people that lift you up, the people that want to support you, the people that want to see you be successful. So, those are the relationships I would nurture. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have a Sanctuary card that says, seek refuge, protection, and rejuvenation. Yeah, I mean, Mercury will be going direct on the 29th and all that other stuff. First 2 weeks will be in the shadow of Mercury, so, anything you do to heal yourself would be good, or rest, relax, recover. You have the Celebrity. It says self-expression, validation, and influence. Some of you could be getting a lot of attention with that Three of Pentacles, especially in work. Three of Pentacles is a great card for doing extra work in work or trying to stand out in work. Like I would be bragging in work as well, telling your boss all the things that you're doing. If you want like a raise or promotion, I would make sure that you're really kind of like promoting yourself with these cards. And by the way, if you're trying to become like an influencer, or if you're trying to do something online, very good. You have the King of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and the Eight of Cups. King of Swords is like knowledge and wisdom, and he has a lot of knowledge and wisdom. He has learned a lot. I kind of feel like this is a person that can solve your problems very quickly, and it could be any gender, doesn't have to be a man. Sometimes I feel like the King of Swords comes up in a reading saying that there is an expert that can solve a problem very quickly. Could be anything. Could be a lawyer, a doctor, could be just an expert on something. So if you're having an issue in any area of your life, I feel there is a person that can solve it very quickly. So if you're asking, should I get a lawyer? Should I go to the doctor? Should I talk to this person? Yes, is the answer with the King of Swords. So I definitely would. Also, Cancer, make sure to leave a comment. Really helps me out. You have the Queen of Wands. Again, Queen of Wands, the card of being bold, being assertive, really making things happen. Part of me feels this reading is very simple, right? It's just saying escape the bucket and, go your own way. Do your own thing, Cancer. You also have this seduction card at the end, which we'll talk about in a minute. And the Queen of Wands is a card of seduction. And you have the Empress as well. So, again, doesn't matter what gender you are. If you're looking for love, I would be putting yourself out there, getting attention. It's like three of Pentacles. We don't just get attention. We have to put ourselves on display. We have to do something. So, make sure to do that if that's what you're looking for. Queen of Wands is also my card of learning as you go. For the next, 20 freaking years or so, we are definitely in a time where if we're going to do something, we are not going to know what to do. And it's kind of funny, but it's also kind of a good thing. And there's a crab on screen. I don't know if you can see it right there, Cancer, but we have to kind of be willing to learn as we go. And we have to realize that no one who's ever done anything knows what they were doing. They didn't know at the time. They just kind of figured it out. They just went on the adventure. And that is definitely the energy for years to come. So I don't know if that really helps or not. But I would just get moving. You have the Eight of Cups. Yeah, no longer settling, right? Eight of Cups, he's walking away from these 8 cups, and those 8 cups do provide him with something in his life, right? They do provide him with a result. But there's something missing, and so he's choosing not to settle in his current situation. He's choosing to go find fulfillment. I always say it's a scary card because he has no clue if he's going to find fulfillment. So he might be thinking I could be making a bad decision here because I am walking away from something, but he wants to send a signal to the universe that he's not going to settle, right? So I feel a lot of you could be kind of choosing to walk away from something this week. Could be anything, and you're doing that because you know that you shouldn't be settling. And, when you do that, then you do get what you want out of life because you are telling the universe, I'm serious about what I want. And I feel like you are, Cancer. With the King of Swords, you have the Five of Wands. Yeah, if there's some sort of conflict that you're dealing with, like I said legal. If you're dealing with a legal conflict, getting a lawyer, finding an expert might be a good idea. The other thing is that you've been getting the Five of Wands with me a lot, I think. You have it twice in this reading. And so this could also just be you learning from the competition. And I do think it's an amazing time for you to learn from the competition, to see what they're doing, what they're not doing, and to fill in the gaps. If I were a Cancer, I'm not even a Cancer, and that has been my entire focus this year. It'll probably be my entire focus next year is filling in the gaps, right? And I'm not even a Cancer, but I do think it does benefit Cancer the most, except for Capricorn. And if you have Capricorn in your chart, there you go. So I would definitely say studying the competition is good. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Nine of Pentacles. Very good. Nine of Pentacles is pre-Empress energy, and we have the Empress. So it's almost like you are becoming the Empress. Maybe you are focusing on your own independence, right? Again, escaping the bucket, right? And doing your own thing. She's also very focused on her environment. Probably one of the best things we could all do right now is make sure that we're creating an environment of success. There's just something about the energy. I really just feel people need to make sure the energy is flowing. And, I encourage people, I think it's a great time to clean, to make sure there aren't any piles of stuff laying around, to make sure there aren't any spider webs in the corners of your house, right? I'm a big fan of getting rid of that. I believe those things can trap energy. And so there's just something about the energy that I think is encouraging people to get that flow going, right? And I would make sure that you are with the Nine of Pentacles, but very amazing for money as well. There could be a lot more abundance coming in here for you. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Seven of Cups. Yeah, I would ignore all the what ifs, especially if these what ifs are coming from other people. If you're thinking oh, I need to get a different job, and if people are saying oh, what are you doing? You're giving this up or you're giving that up if you go find something new. It's that could be causing confusion with the Seven of Cups, and, that's what I would really ignore. It's not saying these people are bad people, of course, but, they might have your best interest at heart. But I feel that you're being led to something unique, that's just unique to you. That's not the same as everybody else. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have the sweetheart card. It says, in love, sweetness, mutual feelings, devoted good intentions, innocence, love is in the air, love and affection. You have a seduction. It says passion, pleasure, temptation, beauty, attraction, chemistry, flirting, play, sexual intrigue, and mating dance. Yeah, sure, you could be attracting love. We don't really see very many love cards here, but again, I think love is always available to us, so if you're looking for love, I would definitely put yourself out there. You do have the Page of Pentacles, which could be a new person. If you have your eye on a person, I feel like you feel a little bit stuck with the Eight of Swords. And the Five of Wands, really. This could be in the King of Swords. Just putting this together right here, you could, if you are, like I feel this for those of you that have a person in mind, you could be feeling like there's a lot of competition for that person. King of Swords is very hard to read as well. It's like, it's like a person where you're not getting any signs or, it's like you're not getting any clues as to whether or not the person is interested in you as well. And so that could be a little bit of something going on here. Am I worried about it? No, but something to think about. Also in the good stuff, you have the Magician, the Devil, and the Empress. The Magician can be you attracting things into your life. I think you get the Magician with me a lot, Cancer. So, Magician is about reinvention. It says you have to become a new person, basically, to attract what you want in life. And, you could be developing new habits, getting rid of old habits with the Devil showing up here. And all that could be turning you into something more. And I feel that would be a good thing to focus on with the Magician. I always pull the card he's pointing to. We're going to say it's this one. It says freedom. There you go. It says released, unburdened, and new beginning. Yes, you definitely need a new beginning, or you are working towards a new beginning. Like I said, you're escaping the bucket, right? You have the Devil. The Devil and the good stuff would say that you are letting go of bad habits. Again, Saturn retrograde. Saturn's going direct, like I said, on the 27th. And yes, the internet is saying the 28th, but no, it is not. It is going direct on the 27th, depending on where you are in the world. But it is the 27th. And what I would say here is that, Saturn direct, once it goes direct, we can kind of examine karmic cycles, karmic issues, karmic things that we've been through, and we can either release those things, let them go, or heal from them. So, I don't know. I just feel like you're doing that. You have the Empress, so could be a lot of abundance coming in for you here, Cancer. I do feel abundance, probably by making a change in work or how you work. Or again, if you backslid on a project like we were talking about earlier, you might be like relaunching a project or redoing or reworking a project after this retrograde goes direct on the 29th or the 27th, sorry. I have too many dates floating around in my head here, Cancer. But really, I would say that, I think the energy really gets going like after the 1st, so the week of the 1st. And, if you're reworking things, or kind of going back to work on something, that's where the abundance will probably come from. With the Magician, you have the Strength card. Yeah, it's going to require strength because you are probably leaving the bucket. Like I said, there are things that maybe are trying to keep you stuck in an area of your life. The Strength card is about taming your inner voice. This lion represents your inner critic, but it is coming up in the good stuff. So I do feel you are developing that strength to kind of like go your own way. With the Devil, you have the Justice card. Yeah, like I said, could be like a little bit of karmic justice coming in for you, or a karmic reward coming in for you with the Devil. And again, that makes perfect sense with Saturn finally going direct. So that's good. With the Empress, you have the Sun, which is amazing. Best card in the deck. Makes the whole entire reading more positive. So I feel like the sun is shining on you, Cancer. This looks very, very good. And you could be getting a lot of attention, standing out, feeling really good, feeling like the sun is shining on you. So love it. You have this wedge card. You always get this card with me. It says someone is trying to come between you and something, a friend or something you want. So again, if people are telling you not to do something, that is what you have to ignore. Or people could be telling you like, oh, don't go talk to that person, the King of Swords, right, in your reading or something like that. But I would be careful of like what people are telling you to do. The reading is talking about independence, 9 of Pentacles, making up your own mind, doing your own thing, right? You have this wall. It says misunderstandings. Yeah, we're still in the Mercury retrograde shadow. Again, even though Mercury goes direct the week of the 24th, we'll be in the shadow for like the first 2 weeks of December. So just be this isn't like a bad card. I feel it's just saying be clear in your communication. You have this butterfly. It says a change for the better. Yeah, obviously, the whole entire reading is kind of a change for the better, which is good. Definitely could be some improvements. You have this target. It says a goal-oriented person. I don't know. I think everybody needs to have a goal right now. Pluto and Aquarius. I think for like the entirety of Pluto and Aquarius, everybody should have like a North Star goal, a big picture goal, something that they work on for a long time. There's just a lot of benefits. Even Saturn going into Aries next year at the end of February, it's like Saturn in Aries, I think, will reward long-term effort, something that takes a while to build. And it will last a long time. That's the benefit. So we definitely want a goal. You have this teapot. It says deep friendship with someone of the same sex. Yeah, I would make sure you're focusing on those concentrated connections. Again, I always say people can come from two places, fear and love. Obviously, you want to make sure you're focusing on the people who come from a position of love, right, Cancer? But there you go. This looks really good. I like it. I knew this would be a good week for water signs for sure. So, I haven't done Scorpio yet. We'll see. But it looks good. So, thank you for being here. Make sure to leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your week.